Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. We are here on day 2 of Eurostar in Edinburgh, and I have the privilege of talking to Davy today, who is a speaker at Eurostar. Welcome, Davy, to the podcast.
Hi, Sowmya.
Lovely to meet you today. And Davy, you were telling me it's your first Eurostar conference.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
Wow, what
Wonderful.
an experience.
What are you looking forward to take away from this?
I look forward, what I do like every kind of conference is obviously the talks, but always the networking which happens in between, during the breaks.
Yep.
You have so much opportunities to meet new people, make new friends, and get insights from other people. That's what is happening right here at this instant moment. It's wonderful.
Amazing. Yeah. And are you a regular conference kind of goer? Do you go to conferences a lot?
I go to conferences a lot.
Yeah.
I need to say I go to conferences much more as a speaker these days.
Okay.
Rather than an attendee.
Yeah.
So I maybe need to check my calendar a bit to also go once as an attendee where I can just sit down, just enjoy. Don't stress out for the talk, don't check the planning in terms of when is my talk actually.
Wonderful.
So maybe I should consider that.
Wonderful, wonderful. Please, would you like to say a bit more about what you're here to present at Eurostar conference?
Yeah, I'll be presenting a talk on Thursday.
Okay.
I'll be presenting a talk about, the title is called Feedback Loop from Hell.
Oh my God, okay, sounds very interesting.
Yeah, but it's way more scary than it sounds. No,
Okay.
totally not at all. No, it's about patterns.
Okay.
It's about vicious circles and patterns which are always coming back inside private lives, but also inside organizational lives. I had, let's say, like a tough pretty years in terms of my private life, in which I noticed, I was running inside of some kind of vicious circle. And I was actually not aware about the fact that I was in that vicious circle until my partner made me realize, Davy, you're not doing great, man. And as of that moment, I started to realize, hey, that's also some kind of patterns that we have inside organizations. And hence I did some researching about what are different kind of patterns which are basically coming back as part of organizations or as part of software development.
Wonderful, wonderful. And would you think these are the kind of patterns that everybody will be able to relate to irrespective of their domain and things like that?
Yeah, so I'll be discussing, let's say, 4 different kind of patterns, and the main idea is I really choosing patterns which the people, when they go to the talk, they say yes, this is me, this is my pattern that I'm looking at. So that's really one of the main messages that I want to bring during the presentation, whenever they're listening to the pattern, that they also have a key takeaway. Yeah, that's what I have as part of my day-to-day job, but also give them some tips on when they go back on Monday to their office on how to break free from that pattern.
Amazing. I think a lot of participants, I'm sure, will find it very useful. Where do you find usually your inspiration for the talks that you deliver? Do you research on anything specific, or does it come from your own practice of doing something at work? Where do you typically draw your material from, Davy?
I read a lot of books and material, specifically this one about patterns.
Yes.
I read a lot about atomic habits. It was a book, and it really helped me to realize, there are patterns existing which we even don't know about. And then linking this to my professional, which I do day in, day out. And I have the advantage that I'm working as a consultant, so I kind of see different kind of organizations, see different kind of people, and what I love to do is just listen to people and, hey, can you tell me how's it going in your organization, what's going on, what you're working on? And I love it so much on listening to all of the stories of people.
Amazing, amazing.
And linking that back, okay, I've seen this pattern coming back when talking with this guy, when talking with that person. It must be something which we can do to break that pattern free.
Amazing, fantastic. You kind of segued into the other question I wanted to ask you. It's about your role. Maybe if you wanted to please talk a little bit about your journey into becoming a consultant. I don't know if that's what you did all along, or is the new thing you've picked up? Have you started being a consultant very recently, or is that something? It's a long-term career?
I have been a consultant all of my life, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, no, not all of my life.
No, fair enough.
As of the moment I started my career,
Wonderful.
and actually this is a funny thing. When I ended up my career, I graduated, and I was like, okay, I graduated in software development within IT. And I needed to volunteer for a job, but at that moment when I was volunteering for a job, there was a financial crisis in Belgium. It was around 2008 when all the banking crisis happened. And I needed to look out for a job, and true story, I went to a certain company, and I could be an internal software developer.
Okay.
And it was for the company in Belgium who was taking care about all the farmers in Belgium.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he mentioned, yeah, you can do that, but you don't get a company car, you don't get a laptop, you don't get your salary. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, let's do this. And then by occasion, I was talking with my neighbor and said, yeah, I find a job. I'll go working within the government for all the farmers. And he was like, okay, seriously? And I said, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You should have worked with this company. That's my consultancy company on which I'm working in. It was specialized in software testing.
Amazing.
You should have worked there. And I entered the company, did my interview, and I was like, okay, this is nice. Okay, we want to see you a second time. Went a second time.
Wow.
And then they said, yeah, I can offer you a contract. And this is your salary, this is your car. And I was like, oh my God, I get a car here? And then I signed up for the job, and I went to all my friends at school like, hey guys, I signed my contract, I do have a car.
Amazing.
It was because of the banking crisis.
Fair enough. Yeah, I know, honestly. And I've been with consultancies all my life, so I can relate to how you feel about the excitement and the variety that comes with consultancy job. You get to see such a range of people and range of problems and how you can solve it. It's a mindset of its own. So it looks like you thrive in it. Is that something you enjoy the most, perhaps? I enjoy
the most part of working together with different kind of people, but also learning from them, but making them grow as well. That's what I like to do that much as a consultant. Whenever sometimes I'm working with, as a consultant, I'm going to a client, sometimes I always get the pushback like, yeah, Davy, come on, hey, we're not a startup, we're a bank, or we're like in pharmaceutical environment, or we're working in logistic environment. This stuff don't work here. Okay, but let's try something else here. And you have a lot of experience from your company, let's try something else, but maybe use the same mindset.
Amazing.
And that's what I really like to do as being a consultant.
Wonderful. And where do you see your journey go from here? For a short to medium term, do you see yourself continuing consultancy? Is that your thing, or maybe you're open to other opportunities or ideas, and you're still kind of not decided?
I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough question. That's a tough question, Sowmya. That's okay. The thing is, I do get a lot of energy from working as a consultant, but I need to admit, whether I get also a lot of energy from is long-term engagements with people. So I'm today, for example, on one of my projects, I'm working at Nike. I'm already at Nike for 5 years.
Wow.
And because I have the chance to work in such a nice environment, but also to connect with different kinds of people within Nike, it makes my life and my job super motivated.
Amazing.
And hence going to the conferences and doing speaking engagements gives like an additional flavor on top of the consultancy part.
Absolutely. Oh, brilliant. It's fantastic. And I guess my next line of question was going to be around what kind of content do you work on? Is there a place where people can follow you and the work you do and anything that you share with the community? Is there an opportunity, I don't know if it's LinkedIn or any other platform that you would like to talk about?
Yeah. I'm present on LinkedIn, for sure,
Yep.
and there I do indeed share lots of content about software delivery excellence, about culture, about coaching,
Amazing.
also obviously about at Eurostar, about quality.
Super.
It's funny that you ask, because I was on London on DevOpsCon last week, and then I gave a presentation about culture, how it drives software delivery excellence. So I gave a presentation, and afterwards people were like, wow, do you have like material which we can read, because we so much like to talk? Do you some have material? And I was like, okay, no, I actually don't have material. You should start writing, dude. Davy, you should start writing, and please connect with me, because if you need to start writing, bring out a book, bring out some articles. So I'm not yet there, but the seed is somewhere planted in my head. Like,
excellent.
We need to start writing, and
absolutely, I think that's such a great thing for people like yourself to consider. I genuinely think the community is in need of a lot of insights of that order, particularly aspects like culture. I think it's such a huge thing. We often don't recognize the importance of culture and how much it drives the success of any organization, any team. I don't know if you have any specific thoughts around company cultures and organizational cultures that you want to share in this instance, Davy?
Yes, what I can share is whenever there's something revolutionary happening, right? So let's say you're working inside of a company and there is like a new program which is being launched, or even AI. We always believe that by adopting that change, it's because of the technology.
Yes.
Whenever we think about something new happening, we always think, yeah, this works because it's new technology, obviously, and everyone likes new technology. Obviously, everyone likes AI. But I'm convinced that it's not only technology which is driving the change, but also the way how your company culture is, how your team culture is. And to me, culture is also like not being the best out there, but being at your best.
Nice one.
Which is a different kind of interpretation,
Interesting.
but so much more valuable, because if you can build a culture,
Nice one.
not about being the best individual, but if you can build a culture where everyone feels at their best,
Wonderful.
I'm pretty sure magic happens.
That's amazing. What a great perspective. No, brilliant. And you segued into the next theme I was going to pick up, which is around AI. It's the theme of this conference, and of course, talk of the town. Everybody is doing something about AI, surely. What's your own take? I don't know how much of AI you actually actively use in your everyday work or for your clients. What's your take on where we are going with it in general, Davy?
I think the next upcoming years will change drastically in terms of the adoption of AI, but also the capabilities of AI. Sometimes I have like debates with colleagues just at a bar, getting a drink, and we talk about AI, and they say like, yeah, but AI, it's the AI. Whenever it creates code or whenever it generates code, it's rubbish code. Yeah, people write rubbish code too. No, we do that too. So we should not blame a machine for writing.
Learning from us.
Yes, exactly. But I think in the upcoming years, the machines, and this will be a tremendous amount of job for us as being humans. We kind of need to set boundaries somewhere.
Yes.
Where do we as humans are still in the lead, and where do we ask machines on being in the lead?
Yes.
And there is like those research being done at this instant moment where they're making statistics of all the capabilities of AI.
Yes.
And where there is really mentioned like, actually AI can generate 98% of your code completely autonomously.
Yes.
And it will work out. But it's up to you to judge what's the quality of that code being generated by the AI.
Yeah. You need to be in control of it. And,
Exactly, yeah.
Would you say you're more of an optimist or a pessimist or somewhere in between about AI in general? I mean, because there's fears of AI replacing jobs and whatnot. It's just so many kind of facets to this subject. What's your own individual view, maybe, of how you see AI for the world?
I'm more of an optimist because I see a lot of I see a lot of things being capable, and I think it's up to the humans to make sure that we can define really good the context and the requirements of stuff that we need.
Yes.
We provide it to the AI, we get a certain output of it, and we work together with qualified people who can judge about the output of the AI machine.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a kind of a measured stance to take, in this sense, and a very healthy position for AI. Are your clients and people you meet very keen to adopt AI, or is there a lot of skepticism about it? I don't know how you find people who you interact with.
There is a lot of skepticism about it, and that's the nice thing at this instant moment in our lives. If we surround ourselves with people who are like optimistic, obviously we won't learn because we're all optimistic.
Yeah.
I think where the lots of opportunity is to talk and engage with people who are at this moment still skeptic about the AI change. And learn from them. Why are you so skeptic? Explain me. And the 5 why principle. At the end, we always get to the back. I'm afraid it will take our jobs, but okay. But how can we use AI not to change or not to replace our job, but how to change our job and to make it more efficient, to make our jobs more efficient. So I'm more of an optimist, but I do see still at this instant moment a lot of skeptic.
Fair enough. Fully appreciate that. Davy, today and over the conference, of course, we'll hear lots about AI and a lot of other topics. These big testing gurus who are walking the floor just now. Is there anybody you followed as part of your journey in quality engineering and testing that you perhaps are hoping to meet here, or anybody that you particularly follow outside of the conference as well? Any names that you've been kind of.
Yeah, there are a couple of names of speakers which I knew, which I look very forward to. Chris Armstrong, for example, he'll be talking. Maria will be talking at this on Friday.
Yes.
René is talking tomorrow.
Yes.
But it's a pity because he's right on the same time slot as I am, and so I can join his talk, he can join my talk. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. What about Belgian test community? Is it very thriving and it's very active, and do you have a lot of activity happening in general? What's the Belgian test community like?
Yeah, there are a couple of communities happening in Belgium. You do have a few who are really focused on QA and testing, and they're really building up at this instant moment. So I think it's started like a couple of years ago, and now we really see it's growing much more drastically, which is good for the community, which is good for Belgium. And you do have also some software development or software engineering communities, which also talk about QA, but more like from a technical perspective. And you see that those communities, they are also growing. So it's really growing again since COVID. It's growing again. So I really like that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Long may it continue. I'm going to have to wrap up soon, but I wanted to ask you: is there any advice that you'll want to give to somebody who's maybe started and still in their earlier phases of their career in the craft of testing and quality? Anything that you would like to advise people? What should they prepare themselves for? I don't know, maybe skills for tomorrow or anything from your side as an advice.
Let me think. This is a tough question, Sowmya. You're good at asking tough questions. I think, but this is classic. I think keep on learning.
Nice one.
Keep on learning.
Yeah.
And even at my age, I believe I can learn a lot from people recently graduated and going to school, just the way on how they stand in life, but also how they deal with their profession. So my first advice would be keep on learning and have fun with your job. Really, seriously, have fun with the job that you're doing.
Fantastic.
If you don't have fun, you'll stop learning by default, and that's something that you can't keep on continuing.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Lovely talking to you, Davy. Thanks so much for your time.
Super.
And with that, we'll bring this conversation to a close. Thank you very much.
All right. Cheers.